The highest budget has been allocated to school education of about 267.5 billion, followed by health, almost 228 billion rupees, followed by law and order in the home department, 143 billion rupees, and local government, which is 112 billion rupees. The current capital expenditure has been proposed to be rupees 136.256 billion, with an increase of 150% over budget estimates of 55.481 billion for the year 22-23. This increase may be linked with excessive repayments of interest amount due to hike in foreign exchange rate, as I mentioned earlier, raising the expenditure disproportionately. The budget estimates for investment activities have been proposed at rupees 88 billion, including inter alia rupees 26 billion earmarked for Sindh pension fund and rupees 58 billion reserved for bridge financing of various public-private partnership-led development projects through viability gap fund, depicting an increase of twice more than budget estimates of rupees 23.6 billion for year 2022-23. The budget estimates for the year 2023-24 for provincial development stands at an unprecedented and a record rupees 701 billion against a budget estimate of 459 billion in this current financial year. So inshallah ta'ala, we hope to spend more than 700 billion rupees in development funds in the next financial year. I'll talk more in detail about this. In terms of federal transfers, as you are aware, most of our income depends on transfers from the federal government because they have the major tax collecting authority. We hope that the budget estimate of federal transfers, which have been set at 1.353 trillion for the financial year 2023-24, including 1.255 trillion for divisible pool component and 64 billion for straight transfer and rupees 33.74 for OZT grants. This estimate shows an increase of 27% over the estimate of 1.055 trillion in the current financial year. The provincial receipts, we've done some fiscal reforms we've implemented to mobilize provincial revenues to curtail budget deficit. The augmented collection is expected in the next financial year. Therefore, we have proposed budget estimate of rupees 469.9 billion for tax revenues for the financial year 2023-24. We have set quite ambitious targets for next year for major revenue streams. Next year's collection target for Sindh sales tax on service has been pitched at rupees 235 billion. It is a difficult target, but I am sure that Sindh Revenue Board will be able to achieve this target. Likewise, the revenue collection for levies under excise and taxation are pitched at 143 billion and under Board of Revenue at rupees 55 billion. We estimate a non-tax revenue of rupees 32 billion for the next financial year. Other receipts that we hope to get for our budget assistance in the next year 2023-24 include a foreign project assistance of rupees 26.69 billion. This is unprecedented. This is more than double of what we've ever pitched before. And I'll talk about it later when I talk about our World Bank funding projects. The funds have come from, as I said, the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, the USAID and JICA. Budget estimates for projects offered under federal PSDP stand at rupees 21.9 billion and for budgetary support at rupees 5.92 billion. Here I would like to mention that the federal government about a week ago had only allocated 6.6 billion rupees for federally funded projects to be executed by the government of Sindh. This was the 2nd of June when the annual plan coordination committee met. We strongly objected to the small allocation to the Sindh government for this, and as a result, this has been increased almost by 4 times, and now we are promised 21.9 billion rupees for provincially executed projects in the federal PSDP. So from 6 billion we've jumped to almost 22 billion in the last 1 week or so when we objected to this, and I'm grateful to the federal government to have partly accepted our proposals. I am not happy with this. I am grateful to my party leadership who emphasized upon the federal government that they have to treat Sindh at par with other provinces. Unfortunately, that has not been the case in the last 4 years. And in this last year also, we have a lot of reservations, but I will not talk about this here today. There will be other avenues, there will be other forums where I will raise my voice.